What if I told you that true seduction doesn't announce itself with grand gestures, loud flirting, or flashy moves? Rather, it slips in quietly, like smoke through a half-open door. A woman rarely speaks her desires directly. Instead, she leaves behind traces a touch that lasts a beat too long, a glance that lingers in the silence, a presence that hovers near you without reason. These aren't accidents. They are signals, subtle, layered, intentional, or instinctual. But most men don't see them. They're caught in the storm of impulse, ego, or blind desire. This is where the Stoic man stands apart. He isn't distracted by noise. He doesn't chase shadows or react to illusions. He sees calmly, clearly. Stoicism isn't about withdrawing from life. It's about understanding it deeply. The Stoic man moves with purpose. He doesn't pounce. He waits. He reads. He acts when the moment is real. Modern psychology backs this up. Studies show that attraction often reveals itself in fleeting gestures, a flicker in her eyes, a change in her voice, the curve of her body leaning closer. Women are masters of this silent language. They don't test your strength, they test your awareness. So how do you recognize these signs without getting lost in fantasy or false hope? In this video, we'll explore 6 quiet signs she wants to sleep with you, decoded through the lens of psychology and Stoicism. Read the signs. Feel the pull. Stay grounded. Stay sharp. Because the Stoic man knows. Desire doesn't scream. It whispers. Sign 1. The slow reveal. Her eyes whisper before her words do. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, but the truth runs deeper. A woman's gaze is not just a reflex, it's a revelation. And if you pay close attention, you'll notice when her eyes begin to speak before her lips ever do, when her glance lingers just a second too long, when silence is wrapped in intensity. That's not by accident, that's the slow reveal. You see, women don't often express desire with words. Instead, they use signals, subtle ones, and the eyes are her sharpest tool. In psychology, prolonged eye contact activates the brain's intimacy circuits, releasing oxytocin, the hormone of bonding and trust. When her eyes meet yours and stay, something begins, something wordless. But here's the catch, the moment is fragile. Most men rush in, assume too much, or act too fast. They smile nervously, look away, or try to break the tension. The Stoic man, however, does the opposite. He remains grounded. He observes with presence, not hunger. His calm becomes his advantage. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." That mindset is your weapon in this silent interaction. How to recognize her slow reveal. 1. Duration. If her gaze holds for more than 3 seconds, it's no coincidence. That's intentional attention, a signal of curiosity, sometimes even desire. 2. Soft eyes. The tension around her eyes fades. There's no squint, no guard, just openness. That's her emotional door creaking open, dilated pupils. It's involuntary, a raw biological response that says, "I'm drawn in." She might not even realize it's happening. But the real artistry lies in the push and pull. She may look at you, then away, then back again. A silent rhythm. This is how she gauges you. Are you grounded or reactive? Confident or needy? Your job is not to jump. Your job is to anchor, to hold your gaze, not with force, but with quiet strength. This is not about domination. It's about presence. When a woman slowly reveals herself through her gaze, it's an unspoken test, not of beauty, not of charm, but of how still you can be in the storm of chemistry. Can you feel the electricity without flinching? The Stoic doesn't chase the moment. He honors it. He doesn't assume. He reads. And in doing so, he becomes the mystery she wasn't expecting, but can't stop thinking about. That's the power of the slow reveal, when you know how to see. Sign 2. The dance of proximity. She comes close without asking. There's a kind of attraction that doesn't speak. It simply moves. She won't say she wants you. She won't ask to be near, but watch how often she ends up close. Closer than the setting requires. This is the dance of proximity. It's one of the oldest, most primal ways women express interest. No compliments, no confessions, just closeness. In psychology, we all operate with invisible boundaries called personal space. Edward Hall, a pioneer in proxemics, defined 4 spatial zones: public, social, personal, intimate. When a woman steps into your personal zone, anywhere from 18 inches to 4 feet, consistently and intentionally, that's a message. Not a loud one, but a powerful one still. Here's the trick. Not every moment of closeness means attraction. So how do you read the difference? 1. Repetition. Does she repeatedly choose to stand or sit near you, even when she has other options? 2. Body angle. Does her torso lean subtly toward yours, even when she's talking to someone else? That's subconscious focus. 3. Incidental touch. A soft brush of the arm, a lean in during laughter, or a step just close enough to feel the electricity, but never too obvious. The reactive man assumes, the Stoic man observes. Seneca taught, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Wasted in reacting, overthinking, assuming. The Stoic does none of that. He notices. He breathes. He remains still. Because here's the truth. When you stay grounded, calm, composed, you create gravity. In a world full of needy energy and impulsive behavior, your stillness becomes magnetic. You don't chase her closeness. You allow it. There's another layer most men miss timing. When does she move closer? Is it during a moment of emotional vulnerability? Like when she shares something personal or laughs uncontrollably? That's not random. It's a microsequence. A test wrapped in chemistry. Don't overplay it. Don't speak it aloud. Just notice it. That's what makes the Stoic man different. He doesn't act out of hunger. He acts with intention, if he acts at all. So when she steps into your space, remember, the dance has already begun. She's watching how well you move without moving at all. Sign 3. The subtle touch. Her hands speak louder than her words. Before words ever existed, there was touch. It's the oldest language we know, used to calm, to connect, to conquer. And when a woman desires something deeper, her hands start speaking a language most men miss: a gentle graze, a fleeting press of skin, a tap on the shoulder wrapped in laughter. These are not just coincidences. They are subtle signals, tiny tests wrapped in tenderness. From a psychological standpoint, touch lights up the brain's reward system, flooding us with dopamine and serotonin, those very chemicals responsible for pleasure, connection, and trust. What looks like an accidental brush of her fingers may be anything but. Women rarely initiate with words. Instead, they let their fingers ask questions. 4 subtle signs to watch for: 1. The incidental graze. She brushes your arm or hand, seemingly unintentionally, but pay attention. It happens again. 2. The anchoring touch. She places her hand on your forearm while making a point, a moment of steady contact, quiet confidence. 3. The playful push. A light shove accompanied by a laugh. It's not aggression. It's flirtation in disguise. 4. The lingering contact. A touch that lasts a second longer than it needs to. That pause. It speaks volumes. Now here's the key. How you respond matters more than the touch itself. The reactive man leaps to mirror her. He leans in, grabs her hand. He thinks it's game on. But in doing so, he ends it. The Stoic man does not flinch. He doesn't overplay. He recognizes, but doesn't rush. Seneca taught, Accept pleasure, but do not become its slave. When you delay your reaction, when you stay composed, you send a different signal. I am not controlled by impulse. I choose. This is what women find irresistibly rare in a world full of overeager men. In social psychology, this is known as delayed reciprocity. It builds tension, creates space, and allows her curiosity to grow. You don't need to answer her touch immediately. Let your restraint speak for you. Because the man who responds too fast reveals need, but the man who waits, he becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. Sign 4, the shift in tone. Her voice becomes intimate. Attraction doesn't always arrive with a look. Sometimes it slips in through sound. The way a woman speaks when she's drawn to you, it changes. Not in what she says, but how she says it. Her voice becomes slower, softer, lower, as if she's building a private world where only you and she exist. This isn't coincidence, it's chemistry. In social psychology, vocal modulation, changes in tone, pace, volume, is one of the clearest signs of romantic interest. Studies show that when someone feels attraction, they naturally lower their pitch. Why? Because a deeper voice signals warmth, safety, and trust. And yes, it also triggers dopamine in the listener's brain. Women often do this instinctively. They don't even realize it, but their voice becomes an invitation, a whisper wrapped in velvet. 4 signs to listen for. 1. Softened volume. If she starts speaking more quietly, to the point that you must lean in, that's intimacy being created on purpose. 2. Slower pace. Her speech becomes drawn out, like she's savoring each word. This isn't hesitation, it's control. 3. Playful inflection. The teasing rise in her tone, the melodic shift. It's flirtation disguised as fun. 4. Private tone shift. If her voice sounds different when talking to you than when speaking in a group, it's a signal. You're not just anyone. But here's where most men get it wrong. They hear the softness and mistake it for a green light. They rush in, respond too eagerly. They let the mood pull them into overreaction. The Stoic man doesn't do that. He hears it. He notices the warmth in her tone, but he stays grounded. He doesn't let emotion cloud his perception. Seneca once said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere. Be present. Let the sound touch you, but not control you. Respond not with excitement, but with calm." An advanced Stoic tactic here is mirroring without mimicry. You don't lower your voice to match hers directly, but you slow your cadence just enough. You anchor the energy, deepen the rhythm, and that subtle alignment builds intimacy without you ever chasing it. Because true presence doesn't shout, it listens, it watches. And when it does speak, it speaks slowly, like it already knows it's being heard. Sign 5, playful defiance. When she challenges you with a smile. Not all attraction feels like sweetness. Sometimes it comes wrapped in sarcasm, a smirk, and a playful jab. This is playful defiance, a silent game where teasing becomes a language of seduction. She's not attacking you. She's testing your composure. Contrary to what many believe, attraction doesn't always show up as softness. It can be bold, mischievous, even rebellious. A woman who flirts through teasing isn't just being witty. She's probing. Can you keep up? Can you stay grounded when poked? Psychologists call this relational play. Studies show that teasing in romantic contexts creates a low-pressure space for 2 people to explore connection. It's her way of discovering, are you emotionally stable? Can you take a joke? 3 signs of flirtatious defiance. 1. Mocking your preferences. Wait, you like that band? I didn't take you for the indie type. 2. Playful challenges. I bet you couldn't survive a day without your phone. 3. Exaggerated sarcasm. Oh, wow. Mr. Stoic doesn't care about anything, huh? So, how do you know it's flirting and not criticism? Look at her eyes. If they sparkle with amusement, if her body language is open, then she's inviting you into the dance, not trying to knock you down. And here's where the Stoic man rises above. He doesn't get defensive. He doesn't overcompensate. He smiles, cool, steady, and meets her energy with quiet confidence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When she challenges you, respond from that place of power, not with ego, but with poise. Pro tip, never escalate. Mirror her tone with subtle humor. Her, "you think you're mysterious." You, "I prefer enigmatic, but close enough." That's it. Game on, without trying. Because when you stay composed, you project strength. When you laugh with her, not at her, not beneath her, you create connection. Playful defiance isn't war, it's an invitation. And if you handle it right, it becomes a spark, a shared rhythm, a secret conversation only the two of you understand. Sign 6. The mirror effect. She starts reflecting you. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but in attraction, it's more than a compliment. It's a subconscious confession. When a woman is drawn to you, something subtle happens. Her body begins to echo yours. She doesn't even realize it, but her posture shifts. Her hands move like yours. Her words take on your rhythm. This is mirroring, and it's powerful. Psychologists link this to mirror neurons, special cells in the brain that drive empathy and connection. When someone mirrors you, it's because they're aligning, not just physically, but emotionally. Their body says, "We're in sync." Watch for these signs. 1. Posture matching. You lean back. She leans back. Not instantly, but moments later. Subconscious imitation. 2. Gestural mirroring. She scratches her cheek when you do, folds her arms when you shift yours. 3. Speech synchronization. Her tone, pace, even vocabulary starts to sound like yours. 4. Emotional resonance. If you become quiet, so does she. If you get playful, her energy lifts too. Mirroring doesn't mean manipulation, it means resonance. But here's the Stoic truth. You don't chase it, you don't test it, you simply notice. Seneca once said, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." The Stoic man doesn't alter his behavior to play games. He stays grounded, authentic. He doesn't puff up his chest when she copies him. He just remains present. To deepen the connection, reinforce without control. If she mirrors your posture, lean in slightly, like you're about to share something just between the two of you. If she echoes your words, smile gently and say, "Careful, you're starting to sound like me." Playful, calm, natural. This gentle acknowledgement builds a quiet bridge between you, without force, without ego. Because when a woman starts reflecting your energy, she's not just attracted, she's inviting harmony. And the Stoic man, he doesn't force that harmony, he allows it to unfold.